Hello, fabulous friends and fans. Welcome to your horoscope for the week of February 23rd, 2014. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This week, there is a very active sky, and the best way to put it into really a synopsis is to say that there's a lot of really inspiring energy that is about compassion and about forgiveness, but there's also energy that's asking us to break free, but be intelligent with our emotions while we attempt to do so. And you add to this a new moon and Mars beginning a rare retrograde phase, as well as Venus ending her shadow period, which means she's making her last run through the steps that she traveled over during her retrograde phase. Well, it's going to be busy for all of us. It's going to be busy personally in terms of us thinking about the change that we want and believing that we can make it so, but also busy in terms of us understanding that really forgiveness and compassion has a way of healing just about everything. There is so much faith in the air that with the changes being inspired, we really believe that we can make great things happen. And absolutely, I believe that we can. That's one of the best things about being a human being. So the week starts off with the sun meeting Neptune, and this happens about once a year. You add to this a little bit further on in the week, the sun will speak in harmony with Jupiter. Both of these are supremely inspiring conversations, with the sun and Jupiter also denoting some luck as well as we progress into the week. But really, this is about seeing what you want to see and believing that things can work out well, and they absolutely can. And thankfully, we've got another really grounding energy happening between Venus and Saturn. So Venus and Saturn have been in this ongoing conversation as part of her going backwards in the sign of Capricorn and having a harmonious conversation with Saturn. And this is the third and final one. And this has been taking place since late last year. So there have been major love lessons for a lot of us. And this conversation, as part of it, has been asking us to be honest with ourselves, be real, and to consider stability, to consider our future, to ground ourselves in what it is that we really want in terms of our romantic future, and be willing to, whether it's make sacrifices or do the work, or to make the choices that will lead us there. Mercury is also going to move direct, stationary first, which means he appears to be standing still in the sky, and then will move direct. And this should be really interesting because throughout this month, Mercury's been going backwards, and this should bring a clarity of a moment, really. Clarity of an ongoing lesson that has been with us over the course of the last 6 weeks. Now, the fullness of the clarity will come through in the coming days, but just know that when Mercury is standing still, it's almost as if you say, wow, I can't believe I didn't see that before. I can't believe I didn't know that before, tends to be the message, tends to be the lesson. Jupiter and Uranus have also been involved in an ongoing conversation that's been encouraging change, in some cases dramatically so. Now, this makes us feel like we have to change, and we have to change right now, and we're willing to go through a complete upheaval, leave the past behind in favor of something else. What's really interesting is that late in the week, we do have, like right around the 28th of February or the 1st of March, there is a new moon in the sign of Pisces. I spoke about this extensively in the monthly horoscopes of February and for March as well, depending on your sign and how important it would be for your sign. And this tells me that with all the change, with all the hope energy, with all the determined energy happening, that, you know, the impatience really, not so much determined energy, but more rather patience, more rather impatience, with all that energy happening, what it suggests to me is a real feeling that we're willing to change, and we believe that great change is possible, and we're willing to take the risk to make it happen. But right at the end of the week, what we also have is Mars standing still in the sky, preparing a long retrograde cycle. Now, this should be really interesting because Mars going retrograde is a rare phenomenon. And when Mars does go retrograde, about once every 2 years or so, this time going retrograde for 79 days. When Mars goes retrograde, Mars energy tends to be very outward, very directed, very urgent even, very impulsive. But with Mars appearing to go backwards in the sky, we're asked to turn that energy inward and think strategically, to think about how to best direct our energy. So all in all, a really active week. Now, how all this speaks to you in your sign is coming up right now. Hello, fabulous Aries. Well, you've got Mars standing still, your ruling planet, over the course of this week, especially as we get towards the end of the week, more and more, it does suggest that a part of you needs to stop all of a sudden. You've got this new moon in the sign just before yours. Now, when the new moon happens just before yours, it does denote that a month from now, 28 and a half days later, you're preparing for a really big breakthrough. And so give yourself the patience that you need. Give yourself the time that you need to fully understand what it is that desires to manifest, and you'll come up with the right plan to do so, and keep a dream journal. It's definitely going to help you along in the process. Hello, fabulous Taurus. This week, your ruling planet is speaking in harmony with Saturn once again. As I said in the intro, this is part of an ongoing conversation. And this does suggest a time when we are really inspired to make a move towards stability in love, and especially where it comes to you as a Taurus, it isn't just in love, but it's just about every area of life. You're seeing things a lot more clearly, you're connecting to vision a lot more, and you're understanding the steps you need to take in order to move yourself towards that vision that you have for love, for money, and for the rest of your life. So when that inspiration comes, this isn't like necessarily just a blessing showing up. This is an idea or an opportunity showing up, telling you where to direct your energy to get the most stable results. Hello, fabulous Gemini. This week it is your ruling planet that appears to be standing still in the sky, preparing to go direct in a very harmonious sign to yours, in the sign of Aquarius. And this does suggest to me that in some key way you are getting very clear on what it is that you need for your happiness, what it is that you need to fully manifest a higher goal that you might have for your life. But more than that, when your ruling planet goes direct after being asleep, it is as if a clarity comes, sometimes rather surprisingly, but sometimes, pretty much always, there's a feeling of gratitude that goes along with it. And I think this is going to be emphasized considering all the inspiring energy that we have going on this week as well. And so stay rooted in the gratitude, and at the same time welcome the clarity, because in the weeks to come, you're going to have a better idea of how to go ahead, and you're going to understand yourself a lot better as well, and what it is you really want and how you can go about getting it. Hello, fabulous Cancer. Well, it is Venus in your opposite sign, Jupiter in your sign. Jupiter in your sign speaking with part of this ongoing conversation of tension and change with Uranus in part of the sky that has to do with career. You add to this in your opposite sign, Venus speaking with Saturn, indicating stability as well. And I look at these two together, and it does suggest that you might be asked to make a change for, whether it's for a partner, or whether it's for a child, or whether it's for the future you would like to have with a partner, or in light of your role as a parent, if you want to be a parent. It looks like there's stability coming in those areas, but at the same time, it's almost as if you're wondering, do I have to sacrifice for my career, and how much? Where is it that the change feels right? Where is it that it doesn't? And so you've got this interesting balance happening where love starts to get a little bit calmer, but career starts to kick up a little bit. And you sort of find yourself wondering where it is that you fit into that. Well, you understand that life is complex, and you certainly can compartmentalize the two, but bring the best of both together, which I think that you will very nicely. If you work just a little bit hard with that tension, I think you're going to find a career breakthrough finds you, and is actually very, very close. You add to this new moon that's all about seeing opportunity everywhere, having a bigger stage than you knew before, and I think you're going to set yourself up very nicely to find the stability you want at home, and at the same time find yourself moving towards an important goal. Hello, fabulous Leo. This week does bring a time that I think you're going to find yourself really feeling, on the one hand, some Leos out there may be feeling a little confused. On the other hand, really inspired. On the other hand, really forgiving as well. And being able to see just the spiritual energy at work around you. And I think in some ways, this is really when you are at your best. And I say this because it is your ruling planet that's going to be meeting Neptune in the sky, and is going to speak in harmony with Jupiter. So no matter what kind of tension may be in some areas of life, what other people are doing, it's almost as if it doesn't matter so much, because what matters is that you feel connected to a source of inspiration. So you're able to see the wisdom in even what looks like conflicts, especially where it comes to other people and in their parts of life as well. Being able to see the inner dynamic, you can actually take advantage of this. Being able to see what's happening just beneath the surface, be mindful to stay ethical, but you are able to see things maybe that other people are not within the compassion. And as a result, you can find yourself sort of maneuvering and allowing yourself to move towards a path of greater prosperity, so you can actually gain practically. However, as I said, be mindful to be as ethical as possible, because this is a great power, and with it comes great responsibility. Hello, fabulous Virgo. This week does bring with it a focus on love, and that's only going to increase as the week progresses and into next week as well. And I think you're going to find at least one person is a source of solace. And if there's not actually a person there, then the likelihood of you sort of getting lost in a fantasy of a probability is there as well. And so I think, life is made so much sweeter when we allow ourselves to be close to another person, as I think you're going to find right now. There's a lot of faith and a lot of hope that love is available to you, and greater love is available to you. And I think that you should really nourish that. If you're somebody looking for love or open to love, this is a really good time to be making a list of the things that you want in a partner, or to be visualizing what you want. But more than that, I would say that there's a feeling in the air that love is available, especially to you, and it certainly is. But what you also could have is just having one-on-one exchanges could really stir your creativity in some really powerful ways. And you could also have some romantic experiences happening between that line between friendship and love sort of getting a little bit blurry as well. But all in all, it's a fun week. It's an inspired week. And you really start off this week thinking about what love is going to mean in your life and just how good love can be. Hello, fabulous Libra. This week presents to you the opportunity to understand how it is that you're living, if you like the way you're living, and where it is you can bring it more into alignment with a self-empowering concept. What I'm seeing more than anything is sort of a spiritualization of the way in which you go about taking care of yourself, possibly even the way in which you eat or how you eat, and understanding that there's this connection, which I think you're going to be feeling very powerfully right now. This mind-body connection is going to be really strong for you right now. So there are times in life, I think, that mind really is dominant. There are times in life when it's very energy, very embodied. But times like right now, there's such a strong infusion, or at least an awareness of the infusion between spirit and body, that this really is a time when I think you want to watch how you're eating, if you like it, if you're at peace with it, or if something's just not making you feel very good. I think that you're likely to find some solutions that are truly inspired, that seem to have an element of faith, have an element of emotion, affirmations, and even spiritualization as well. And so all of that, creating greater meaning to the little habits that you have, the little things you do every day to affirm your sense of self-worth, to affirm that you deserve the best of care. It's all those little things that you do that really add up into a person who becomes really self-possessed, as I think you're going to find now, as your definition of yourself starts to alter just a little bit, as you start looking more closely at how it is that you are actually taking care of yourself. Hello, fabulous Scorpio. Well, Venus is reaching out to Saturn in your sign. And I find this really encouraging, part of an ongoing lesson, as I said in the intro, but for you in particular, it's really about softening that Saturn energy. It's about utilizing that Saturn energy for its highest purpose, which ultimately is to understand that you are responsible for your own happiness. And happiness is the truth. And so if you can stay connected to that and think about what you're practically doing, I think you're going to find yourself really opening up to not only greater love, but greater prosperity as well. There is something to be said about honoring your physical incarnation and at the same time enjoying it. And that's what I really like about this celestial conversation that takes place, because it looks like you're able to bridge the two. You're not denying your body, you're enjoying it, and at the same time you're honoring whatever limits may be there, your comfort levels as well. And you're also thinking big picture about what you need to cultivate more love and more prosperity as well. All in all, there is a lot of productive energy with you, and there is a lot of determined energy with you as well, as you find yourself feeling really inspired and really hopeful. And very soon, as we go forward, Mars starting to move backwards in your sign, as I spoke about in the monthly horoscopes, Mars moving backwards in your sign is really going to allow you to get in touch with yourself and to make sure that you like who it is that you actually are being in the world. Hello, fabulous Sagittarius. This week, with your ruling planet getting a boost from the sun, it is as if you get a boost. And actually, I'm seeing that a part of you feels like this is a long time coming. It's a mixture of hope. It's a mixture of energy as well. So there's a strong physicalness to this. And there's also a mentalness to this as well. And what I mean by that is it's as if your intellect is sparked. I think you're likely to find a new idea, some new project, something that thrills you. Really, it comes down to a new adventure, because a Sag without an adventure is not a happy Sag at all. And I think that you're about to find something. For those of you out there who may have been feeling like you're a little bit in the doldrums, I think now you're going to find something that just hits the right button, that makes you feel like this is something you could actually be really enthusiastic about. Those of you who might already feel like you have that, I think you're going to find yourself making some important breakthroughs and creating greater meaning to what it is that matters to you most on a very core level of being, on a very heart level of being. And I do think that for some of you, in all honesty, this could just come in the form of a financial boost, with some money coming through that maybe is due to you, or it just looks like a one-time sort of large payment or medium to large payment that seems to come through that just affirms that you're on the right path and you're doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Hello, fabulous Capricorn. This week, Venus is gearing up for the last few days in your sign, gearing up, finishing up her shadow period, this extended lesson that you've had in love and self-worth, allowing yourself to receive love, and also in the sense of understanding the prosperity that you've created in your life and how it is that you can create more of it. Well, I think a lot of lessons are really going to come together for you this week, very powerfully so, in love and money and in many other areas of life. I do think that this week does promise a sense of stability. It does promise a sense of you seeing how the last few months have been leading you on a path to teach you more about love of others and of self as well, and how that forms the foundation to so many great things. So be open to that process. That process does continue. It's a lifetime journey. You've just been getting a crash course in the last few months, and now you're gearing towards the end of this journey, after which you should find that it isn't so much about love and receiving, but I think what you're likely to find is you get the stability and the clarity that you've been working so hard towards. You understand the best step to take, and you take it with great bravery and great finesse. Hello, fabulous Aquarius. This week, Mercury in your sign will stand still and move direct. And I think this is probably one of the most important celestial conversations to take place for you. What's also happening, your ruling planet is in a continuous conversation with Jupiter, getting another exact moment in this conversation. And this is really about you connecting your work and what you do with a higher vision, with really understanding how high it is that you want to go, what it is that you're ultimately meant to share in the world. And so sort of bringing greater value to what you do, but in a very personal sense, a greater ethic to what you do, a greater purpose to what you do, and very much on a practical level in terms of the work. What we also have is a new moon taking place, which is a very financial element. And in some cases, Mercury is also associated with commerce, in a sense, not so much finances, but more the actual act of buying and selling. And I look at these together, and it does suggest to me that you are on a road of greater prosperity. It's going to more fully realize in the days ahead, in the weeks ahead. But for now, it looks like the journey is largely very personal. It's about you getting clear on who you are, what you want, and what you need to go forward. It's about you really being honest with yourself, taking honest stock and deciding where it is that you like, how it is that you're living, how it supports who it is that you want to be in the world, and where it doesn't. Your identity is going through an important shift, and more answers are going to come in the weeks ahead. March is going to be a very important month for you. However, for right now, really, if anybody is going to have an important moment of clarity that changes just about everything, it is you. So welcome that moment, because it is truth and it will set you free in the most wonderful sense of the word. Hello, fabulous Pisces. This week, there is a new moon in your sign. I've spoken about this in the monthly horoscopes for February and for March. And when I look at this, you're gearing up. It's you that's reaching and gearing up for a brand new start. So before you get there, it's you connecting to faith. It's you connecting to forgiveness, to compassion. It's you understanding and really seeing the spiritual energy at play in everyone and everything. And I think if there's anybody who's ready to really leave the past behind, leave any resentments behind, it's you. And if there's anybody also who's willing to give something that maybe in the past wasn't so hopeful, anybody who's willing to give something another shot, it's also you as well. As long as all things measure up, all things being equal, I think that there is just such a strong feeling of belief and hope and possibility. And there's such a strong connection to magic at this time. And I would encourage you to utilize that magic. Really consider your own energy. Align yourself with an energy of miracles and positivity. And I think you're going to find yourself reaping it just about in every area of life. What I also really like about this week is, in addition to the sense that something big is about to begin, which it really is, at the same time, there's an understanding that right now you are exactly where it is that you're supposed to be. Well, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, everyone, for watching. It'll be a great week. Enjoy. Thank you for watching. It'll be a great month. Be fabulous and enjoy.